Hello, welcome to my channel. We will be doing question number 13, chapter 1, mechanics. This question is interesting. Good thing about this question is that there is no acceleration involved. So there are two trains and a fly, but nothing, there's no acceleration involved, but still it's pretty complicated. Okay, and there are no numbers, we have to work with the symbols only. Okay, so the scenario is this. We have two trains, one is going towards north, one is going towards south. And so this is the train going towards north, and its speed is u meters per second. And there was another train coming to the south, and its speed is v meters per second. Okay. And so at a particular instant of time, the distance between these two trains was d. Okay. So at that moment, a fly leaves this train and it's flying with the speed of w meter per second. Right? The question is, after how long or how much distance it will travel to meet this other train which is coming to the south. This is northbound train, this is southbound train, right? So after, if you okay, what the question showed that the fly meets the southbound train having traveled a distance of this much. Yeah, so this is the distance traveled by the fly. Okay, this was a bit confusing to me when I read the question that is it the distance traveled by the train or the fly? Well, this is the distance of the fly. Okay, so this is the first part. Okay, so how will I address this question? You see, uh, the distance traveled by the fly. Okay, since its speed is w, so it will tie as a function of time basically. So it will travel uh, a distance of wt, right? Now, what is the distance traveled by the southbound train? And I'm calculating the distance from this point because this is my reference point. Okay, the reference point of train, northbound train at time zero. Okay, so that distance, the distance of the southbound train, let me put it as S. Okay, so the total distance was T minus VT. I hope this is clear because when time is zero, the distance was d, right? The southbound train has a distance of d from this reference point. Okay, and as t is passing by, this whole quantity is decreasing. Okay, so at some time they meet each other, so these two distances will be same. So wt would be equal to d minus vt. Easy. So if I bring v on the other side, it will become w plus b into t equals d. So the time when they meet, the fly meet with the southbound train, this is d over w plus v. Easy? Okay. Now in this much time, uh, how much the fly would have traveled, right? So the distance traveled by the fly, it is equal to w into t, and t is given by this expression. So it is w into d over w plus v. So this is w d over w plus v. Okay, this is the thing we had to prove over here. Okay, so this was easy. Okay, now the second part is a bit complicated. Uh, at that time, you mean at this time, when the fly meets the southbound train, right? Okay. At this much time, how much this northbound uh, train has traveled? Okay. It has traveled some distance, and the southbound train has traveled some distance, right? So what is the new distance between them? Let me call it the mean, right? So what is the new distance between the two trains at this time, right? When the fly met the uh, southbound train. Okay, so the distance traveled by the northbound train, this is UT, right? U is the speed, time is the time. But if I put time equal to this one, it is going to be U into D over W plus D, right? Similarly, the distance traveled by the southbound train, it is VT. So that is going to be V into D over W plus V, right? Now, what is this new distance? New distance is D minus dN minus, sorry, Sn minus Ss. Make sense? This is Ss. And this is Sn, the distance traveled by the northbound train and the distance traveled by the southbound train. And if I subtract these distances from D, I will get dN, right? Okay, so this is D minus dN was UD over W plus V minus VD over W plus D. Let me simplify this question. So if I take D as common outside, and the common denominator would be W plus V. Sorry, this is not D, this is V. Okay, this is both of them of V, W plus V. Okay, and here I will have W plus V minus U minus V. Okay, let me make sure I'm doing it right. I hope to be right here. Okay, so minus V cancels V, and it is going to be W minus U over W plus V into D. This is the new distance. Okay, the distance between the two trains is this much when after this much time. So this is the time when the fly met the southbound train. Okay, now what happened after this? The fly starts going back to the northbound train, right? Okay, so what is the new distance traveled by the fly, or the new position of the fly? Okay, this is going to be the total distance was dn minus the speed of the fly and into a new time, right? Now I'm counting time after this much time, right? The time when the fly is starting to go southbound. Okay, okay. Uh, so this would be equal to, dn, we know it is w minus u over W plus V into D minus WT, right? So this is the distance. If I picture the new scenario, I would need some room. So let me clean some space here. Okay. Okay. So the thing is, now the trains are, the distance between the two trains is dn only, which is w minus u over w plus v into d, right? So this is the distance between the two trains, okay? And now the fly is coming in this direction. Its speed is w, and this train is going in this direction with the speed of u, right? So the question is, when they meet each other, when the train has traveled, how much is the distance traveled by the northbound train? Okay. Okay. So the now from this reference point, okay, from this reference point, the distance traveled by the fly is given by this equation. Okay. Now the distance traveled by the northbound train from this point, this is going to be, its speed is u into t, right? So when these two are equal, uh, let me put it this way, ut equals w minus u over w plus b into d plus wt. Sorry, this is minus. I don't want to say. Okay. So if w to come on this side is going to be w plus u into t equals w minus u into d over w plus b. So the time would be w minus u into d divided by w plus v and w plus u. Okay, so this is the time when the fly meets the northbound train again, right? Now at this time, how much distance is traveled by the northbound train? So the distance traveled by the northbound train, it is, of course, it is u into t, and t is given by this expression. So it is going to be w minus u into d over w plus v and w plus u and multiplied by u, right? Okay, so this is the distance traveled by the northbound train after this point, right? So the total distance traveled by the northbound train, initially it traveled a distance of, uh, the time was d over w plus v, right? In this, sorry, v, and in this multiplied by u. Okay, hope I'm not confusing you. This is the time when the train moved from this point to this point. Okay, we know that the time was this much and the speed was u. So this is the total distance traveled in the first interval. Okay, this is the time interval in which the fly moves from northbound train to the southbound train. Plus this time, which is w minus u into d into u over w plus b and w plus u. This is the time when the fly moves back. So this is the total time given to the train, and train has traveled this much distance. Okay, so let me add these two quantities. My common denominator would be w plus b and w plus u, and here I will have du into w plus u. Am I right? Okay, plus du into w minus u. Okay, so if I take w and u common outside, I will have w plus u and plus w minus u. And denominator is the same, which is w plus v and w plus u. And this will simplify as minus u and plus u cancel. W plus w, 2w, so it's going to be 2u w d and divided by w plus v and w plus u. Okay, this is the thing we have to prove over here, you can see. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the question. The important thing is to understand the whole scenario. Okay, all the formulas we are using are simple. There's no acceleration, but you have to keep in mind that which time I'll be talking about, which distance I'll be talking about. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.